Hey, what's going on, Blue Crew? Hope you guys are having a great day. We missed last week, but we're back this week, Troy. I'm really excited about it. And as you can see, we're a little backwards today.
And a little windy.
Yeah, I think I'm used to being on the other side, and yeah, it's kind of strange.
Schematics.
But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and jump right on into this, guys. And so those of you that are on our Blue Crew email list, you received an email update that was titled the Olympics Say No to BLM, and we're going to talk about that. But one of the things that was also mentioned in that email update is it's National Police Week, and and we've got some stuff. We've got something that we're going to do this week that we're really excited about. And so, Troy, you and I were just talking about this morning about trying to, like, what can we do to really go above and beyond for our law enforcement, and
well, sometimes
why is that so important in 2021?
Well, and sometimes it's not. You don't have to do something big. You know, a lot of times people think, well, I got to do something big. I got to do something, unusual. I got to do something, crazy, just to really be able to show our support. Which is, those things aren't wrong. Those things are great.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of little things that we can do that hardly take any effort, hardly take any time, take no resources, that when we all do it collectively together, it's powerful.
Oh yeah.
It's so powerful. And that's one of the things we're going to talk about.
Yeah, come on. All right. So today is going to be important because the Olympics saying no to BLM is, we're going to read to you this. Now, this comes directly from the Tatum Report, and we source the Tatum Report a lot. It's just a really great resource. It's actually run by former police officer Brandon Tatum. But what we're going to talk about, we've said over the last few weeks that we don't just talk about these issues just in controversial topics just to talk about controversial topics. And we think that's really important because we don't really focus on politics in this group. And, and I've actually had somebody say, well, if you don't focus on politics, why is it that whenever you go live, you talk about it? Mm-hmm. We're going to get to that because that's a very, very, very good question.
And some of you might be saying to yourself right now, why are we even talking about the Olympics? Why are we talking about this in this group? Well, just hang in there, and you're going to see why. So
let's go ahead and dive into this. And I want to make sure you stick around to the end because there is something. We have 107,000 people in this group, and we want to give you an opportunity to be part of something nationwide this week. So we have the ability to do something big, but you guys have the ability to each do something small. It's kind of like that old saying, you can be one person doing 100% of the work, or you can have 100 people each doing 1%. So you guys can do a small thing this week to help us do something big, and you're going to be just as much a part of that as we are. So, but stick around to the end because we're going to talk about that. So let's go ahead and dive into this. So the Olympics say no to BLM, plus it's National Police Week. So the IOC revealed its newest policy changes last month, noting that no political demonstrations will be allowed on the field of play. There's so many people that are sick and like they can't watch football anymore. They can't watch basketball. They can't watch baseball. They can't even turn on Amazon or Netflix without it just being thrown in their face.
Yep.
People are sick of it.
Yep.
So the IOC officials have since confirmed that the Olympic athletes will not be allowed to wear Black Lives Matter apparel during ceremonies at the upcoming Tokyo Olympic Games. According to the IOC,
this is the part I like.
The ban comes as a result of a poll revealing a majority of the 3,500 athletes are in favor of strict rules against demonstrations. This is numbers. This is numbers.
Yep.
So a very clear majority of athletes said that they think it's not appropriate to demonstrate or express their views on the field of play, at the official ceremonies, or at the podium, said Kirsty Coventry, IOC Athletes Commission Chief. We want to amplify the voices of athletes and find more ways to support the values of the Olympic Games and what sports stands for.
I love that. Let's get back to the basics
Absolutely. This consultation was a very important process for us, and as part of the ongoing dialogue with the athlete community, we are delighted that the IOC Executive Board fully supported our proposals, she continued. Although athletes using sports as a platform to highlight societal issues is not new, the Olympics have always held a firm position on intermingling sports and politics. Many will point to the occasion where African Americans Tommy Smith and John Carlos raised their gloved fists in a human rights protest in the 1968 Olympics. Although the podium protest may have been an unforgettable historic moment, the two gold medalists were expelled. I think there's a lot of people that didn't know that. Because I didn't. The International Olympic Committee, which is IOC, President Avery Brundage, himself an American, deemed it to be a domestic political statement unfit for the apolitical international forum the Olympic Games were intended to be. And a lot of people don't know this, that the Olympic Games were meant to be something that unites us. And they understand that whenever you say that one specific race life matters more than another, they understand that's not unity.
Yeah.
That's not unity. Let's continue on. Since the announcement, calls have increased in recent months for a change to that rule to allow athletes to protest. Ben Crump, civil rights attorney and representative of the families of, surprise, surprise, George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, criticized the decision in a tweet. And this is what he said: the Olympics will now ban any athlete who wears a BLM shirt, kneels during the national anthem, or raises a fist to oppose racism. This sends the wrong message about basic human rights, and I urge the Olympic Committee to reverse this decision. Now, this is where we're just going to stop for a moment, because this should go without saying. But we want to be crystal clear on something. We don't support BLM Inc. because it really has nothing to do with what they say it does.
Correct.
Now, there's a difference between the saying Black Lives Matter, which we absolutely 100% agree with. Why? Because God values human life.
Every life.
Every life matters. But Black Lives Matter Inc., they're actually not an organization that is trying to help Black people. They are an organization that is trying to market and promote a political agenda to Black people. And that's very, very important. And this whole issue right now that law enforcement is facing is the crux of it, right? It's the greatest part of it, because if they can do that and we can get law enforcement out of the way, they can defund, they can disarm, and they can dismantle law enforcement, then that's what this is all about. It's so much bigger than just the saying. Okay? And so, while many on the left see this as a violation of human rights and speech, several others are happy to see that the Olympics will solely be focused on the events instead of the societal issues.
Agreed.
So, why is this important for Bridge the Blue? If you remember just a few minutes ago, we talked about how our focus in this group is not the political issues. It's not the political topics. And that's why our moderators, which do a kick-butt job, by the way, of moderating through all of that stuff. If you've ever had a post declined because it was political, this is why. It's because there are people on both sides that support law enforcement. And this group is not meant to be a place where we promote a political agenda. This group is meant to be a place, a unifying place, where we can come together, no matter what side of the aisle that you fall on, in support of law enforcement. Yeah. Now, we are after the truth. And both Troy and I, on a personal level, we believe that we have a good grasp on what's really going on. And so we get it. We get that there is an agenda out there against law enforcement, and you see it on one side and not the other. We get it.
And we'll do a little bit more of that on Bridge the Blue, but not specifically in this group.
Yes. Yeah, and we do get more political, if you will, on our public Facebook page, okay? And so we do have stances, both personally as well as organizationally, that we stand behind, but not in this group. And so Lee, Troy, why is it that you, see, I already did it.
It's all right, just keep moving. Yeah. I know, just keep moving.
Jameson. That's going to be difficult. Jameson, Troy, why do you bring this stuff up then? Well, and I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about this, but we are going to be very careful with what we share in this group, because there's a lot of people out there, they just want to complain, and complaining is very destructive. Mm-hmm. But what we want to do is we want to bring up these topics in a respectful manner so that we can rationalize, so that we can do something constructive, so we can talk about solutions.
Exactly.
And see, if we allow everybody to just get political and just share these political posts in the group, then there's going to be a lot of people leave because they don't want to deal with all that, right? And it's one thing if you're in the group and you're seeing post after post after post after post after post after post after post, like all over the place, nothing but politics, your butt's going to be out of here. But see, the reason why we can come in here as an organization and we can talk about some of these issues, because number one, we're only doing it once a week. We're going to remain respectful. And we're going to look at how we can be constructive in what we have to say versus destructive. And so I don't know if you want to add to that, Troy.
Yeah, and we want to hear both sides.
We do,
you know, because I don't think you can't come to a table and have an honest discussion about something unless you have both sides at the table. I mean, that's just the reality of it. You got to be able to hear both views. And I know I've said this, you know, 1,000 times, you know, in the group and outside the group, et cetera, but we've all been through different experiences. We've all been raised different ways. We've all had different input into our lives, you know, which gives us all different lenses to see from.
Yep.
Those experiences have developed those lenses and our ability to process in different ways and stuff. So it takes all of us as a whole to see and move forward in a positive direction, you know. If it's just one or two of us trying to beat this horse, you know, or whatever you want to call it, it's difficult, you know, to get the job done. But man, if we can come together as a team and discuss it and talk about it and work through it, man, there's so much more that can be done.
And that's what it's going to take to build these bridges.
It is. And we've got to, I mean, in this group, we need a place, we have to have a place that is safe for our LEOs, you know, our men and women in blue to go and just receive,
yes,
you know, receive encouragement, receive, you know, blessing, receive, you know, positive, and in a safe environment, just that's not going to get, they're not going to get ridiculed. They're not going to get torn up. You know, it's a good place for them to go. And that's the goal of this place. But at the same time, we want to be able to talk about some of those tough topics, you know,
in a respectful way,
and work through them, you know. So yes, we don't allow politics in the group, but at the same time, we are going to bring a certain portion of that to the group and discuss it in a healthy, positive way.
Correct.
So
because we can control that aspect.
We can control it. We can control it. And you'll even notice that sometimes we allow a post here and there just to kind of to go into the group, you know, not a lot, but occasionally we'll allow a post to go into the group just to get some dialogue and some, you know, happenings around it and so forth. But if it gets out of control and disrespectful, then we just take it off
We'll turn off the
Yeah.
comments, or we'll delete the post. But what's funny about what you're saying right now, and this is every single time that we do these events with Big Top, we have conversations with both law enforcement and community. We actually had Fort Bend County Sheriff's Office out there this past weekend, and we hear their stories, the stuff that they deal with on the street every single day. And whenever Troy and I tell them that we don't allow politics in the group, they say, "Oh, thank God," because they deal with it out
Every
here
day.
every single day. They deal with it all the time. They like Troy said, they need a place where they can escape and get away from that stuff. And what we have to keep in mind, Blue Crew, is that do we care more about us and what we want, or do we care more about the mission and vision of Bridge the Blue?
The big picture.
There's a much bigger picture here, okay? And so we're sharing this, right? We're sharing this with you because there is data that shows that people are sick of it. There's a time and a place. And it isn't important, 100%. Both Troy and I will agree, it is important. But this isn't one of those places.
Yeah.
And so let's go ahead and finish this. So in a poll conducted this month, 46% of U.S. adults favored the IOC's plan to punish athletes for protesting or demonstrating, including 53% of those who said they expect to watch some of the Tokyo Games and 59% of those who anticipated watching a lot of the coverage, according to Morning Consult and Adweek. For 126 years, Rule 50 of the Olympic Charter has prohibited athletes from protesting or other politically motivated demonstrations during the Games. While many policies and cultural norms are changing throughout the world every day, it's refreshing to see that there are still people that are willing to stand courageously in the face of criticism and the woke mob.
Yeah. So good.
And so, we're sharing this in a constructive manner. And we're excited that we're going to be able to watch the Olympics and not worry about having this woke mentality thrown in our face. And I can promise you that our Leos, it's going to be refreshing for them as well.
Yeah.
Now, it is National Police Week. Blue Crew.
Before you go there, I just want to do a shout out.
Okay.
We're talking about the moderation and stuff that has to go on in this group in order to keep it positive. And I just want to say it takes a team of people that put in a lot of time. And these people are all volunteers. They're not getting paid to do this, but they believe in our men and women in blue.
Absolutely.
They believe in them. And they're willing to spend literally hours a day, okay, dozens of them, moderating this group, okay? Because there is post after post after post after post after post that is submitted every day, dozens and hundreds of them, okay? And they have to walk through each and every one of those and check them and make sure that it's positive, it's encouraging, it's accurate.
That is so key because we don't allow fake news in the group.
Yeah.
And so whenever something gets posted, even numbers like even in our moderators have gotten into some debates over some things. And it's because they're in a pursuit of the truth, because what we don't want to do is we don't want to accidentally share something that winds up being fake. Not only that, but we know that there are several other groups similar to ours that have already been targeted and shut down by Facebook.
Yeah.
And that's another reason, Blue Crew, why if you're not an official member of our Blue Crew, if you're not on our email list, you're not connected to us, what happens if God forbid, this group no longer exists because we got targeted?
Yep.
Well, how are you going to be connected to us? That's why you need to go to bridgetheblue.com right now. As soon as the video ends, go to bridgetheblue.com and sign up for our Blue Crew email newsletter. Okay.
Yeah. So I just want to finish with that shout out.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you to all the moderators.
Yes. Thank you.
Each and every level of the moderation team, all of you. It takes every one of you to make this happen.
100%.
And from my heart, I want to say thank you. you're making a difference. And I encourage, everybody out there that's watching, just feel free to put a post on there or whatever, a word, just encouraging our moderating team and thanking them for everything that they're doing. So I know we are grateful for the help and support and that you're giving, and I just want you to know you're making a difference.
Absolutely.
You're making a difference.
To each and every one of you, thank you. You doing what you do allows Troy and I to do what we're able to do. Otherwise, it would be us, and it'd be a full-time job for 1-2 people. Yep.
Way beyond that. So, so National Police Week.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Come on, man. In my opinion, more than ever before, we should be doing everything possible that we can.
Absolutely.
During this week, to be seen and be heard, and our support to be known. We've got a tangible way. It's super simple, but if 107 point whatever thousand people was to even 50% of the group was to grab a hold of this and do it, oh my gosh, you want to talk about a statement?
Yeah.
Lee, talk about it.
Yeah, so here's what we want to do, okay? We want to put together a video, and if we get enough, might have to separate into 2 or 3 videos.
Right.
We want to create a video of your friends and your loved ones that are currently serving in law enforcement. We want to honor them. Doesn't matter if they're from Texas or not. Any state.
Any state, anywhere.
Any state, anywhere. We want to honor them. And so we're going to put together a video, and here's what we're asking for. Okay, we want you to send us their name and their department. And we want to honor them. And you can and then send a picture. Okay? If you have a picture, if you can, go take a picture with them, hug them, do this thing here, do the finger point. That's what I do. But take a picture of them, take a picture with them, and 2 things. 1, email those pictures to us. And now you can send that to Jameson, that's JAMESON.E. So again, Jameson.E at bridgetheblue.com. I want to encourage you to send those pictures there and include their name and the department that they're with. And then I also want to challenge you to also post them here in the group. And if you're brave, post that publicly on your Facebook profile as well. We want to show the world that we love our law enforcement and that we back them, that we support them. And we really do want to make that statement.
Flood social media.
Absolutely.
Every aspect of social media.
And so again, we need your pictures of your friends and your loved ones that serve. Send those pictures to Jameson, JAMESON.E, Jameson.E at bridgetheblue.com. Include a picture or pictures, their name and the department that they serve with. Then we also want you to share that picture in the group. And then, if you're brave, share it publicly and show that you're not afraid to stand up and to help bridge that gap between law enforcement and community by showing that you support law enforcement. Let's make a statement this week for National Police Week.
Come on. I agree.
And we're going to take, and again, we're going to take those pictures and we're going to create a video with those pictures. And we're stoked about that.
Yeah. So the sooner we can get them, the better. So, yeah, let's honor them.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's honor them.
So if you want to be featured, then you want your friend or loved one that serves in law enforcement to be featured, send us that email.
Yep. Right on.
All right. Anything else, Troy?
Appreciate y'all. Highly appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Thanks for making the difference.
Want to apologize. I'm having to get used to introducing myself as Jameson. Those of you that are on our Blue Crew know that I have decided to start going by my first name rather than my middle name, and I'm still getting used to it.
You're confusing. All right. Love you all.
Love y'all. God bless.
Bye-bye.